Have you ever wanted to design your own superhero but you didn't know where to start? Well, today I'm going to show you how, and costume all the way to their abilities. And what's even better is that you don't actually have to be a good artist in order to do so. In order to design this hero, we're going to be using 4 programs/sites, and they're as follows: Factory of Heroes, Pinterest, Google Docs, and Fandom. Factory of Heroes is currently only available on Windows and Android, with iOS only having its own version called Hero Machine. The links to all the sites mentioned above will be in the description below. Now that we've got the boring stuff out of the way, let's get making your hero. First of all, we're going to head over to the Superpower Wiki. Now, I haven't actually decided what type of hero I want to create yet, so this is where we're going to start brainstorming some ideas for their ability. So I'm kind of thinking for this character I want to create a superhero based around music, so let's kind of see what powers they have in here that could work for our hero. So I have searched music, and obviously I have found music manipulation, so I'm thinking I'm going to use that as a base. So if you scroll down, you will find applications, and this is where you'll find all of the powers for everything related to music. Obviously you don't have to do music, you could do fire, you could do ice, you could do whatever. Just have a look around on here and you can kind of find a lot of things. This is where I use it all the time to design my heroes and villains. So for example, if you want to look at fire, you could click fire manipulation and you get kind of some information about it in applications here, and this basically explains what fire manipulation can do, and you could obviously use them. There's other techniques that relate to fire manipulation, pyrokinesis, and obviously variations from different franchises and colors and stuff, and obviously combinations for different because it's a combination of different franchises. So I'm going to go back to music manipulation. So once you have found your power, you come here and you copy and paste all of this application stuff. Once you have chose your power from Superpower Wiki, you can come to Google Docs. Google Docs is free for everyone as long as you have a Google account. Personally, I use Discord to kind of keep my hero OCs and villain OC info down. It's a lot easier, but not everyone has Discord, so Google Docs is what I'll use in this video. If you want a tutorial on how to set up a Discord with that, let me know. So where I have wrote powers, I mean, you can do something more fancy if you want to. Like I said, I use Discord, so I just wrote it basically here as a little basis. You can copy and paste the powers you got from the hero wiki. So these are all the powers of what this OC will have. And you can obviously make them not links, but that doesn't really matter because when you post into Discord, it won't be links. So yeah, our next phase is going to be brainstorming appearance. So we're going to head to Pinterest to get some inspo for that. Okay, so once you have put your information in the Google Doc, come to Pinterest. This is what Pinterest looks like if you don't know what it is. We're going to go to my profile, and you'll see this button here that says create. You click create a board. I've already made one already, ready. So we can click this plus, and that adds sections so you can kind of sort them out. But we're going to come to the top, and we're going to search. So I put music theme superheroes, you put whatever your theme is. So for example, if you're doing fire, if you're doing I don't know, Optic Blast, Cyclops, you do Optic Blast themed. And obviously you can't find anything for music themed superheroes, but there is a lot of them on here, other characters that based off music, like this lady here. So we're going to save her. Okay, so once you've found one you like, you can save it. You can also use Google, and if you find an image on Google, you can come here and you can click pin, and then you can upload. So I have found a character I am taking inspiration from on Google, so I'm going to upload him. Okay, so I have put him in the board. So I think I'm going to take inspiration from these two. I'm kind of thinking of making my character have a similar sort of suit vibe with the headphones and stuff to DJ. However, I'm going to take inspo from these gauntlets that may be used to project the sound, maybe, is what I'm kind of thinking. Now then, once you've got your idea, come to the factoryofheroes.com website and choose this one. This one is the free edition. There is a paid version. The paid version has a lot more stuff. I am going to be using the paid version. The paid version is £1 a month on Patreon, but the free version has a lot of features still that you can make good heroes with. It's all free on mobile though. Once you have downloaded Factory of Heroes, yours will say 24 if you got the free version. If you got the paid version, it'll say 26. So you can choose any of these models. These ones, the 3/4 ones, are off to the side. These ones are more newer, and these ones are facing front. So we're going to choose this one. So you come up with this interface. You kind of click and drag. So if you want a new head, you can take the head off, and If I wanted my character to have this head, we can put it on. And here you change the colors like this. So if we want him to be like pale white, we can. If we want his body to be, I don't know, pink, we could. If we want him to like have like a sort of like spandex suit, we could. So that's kind of the general gist of that. If you want it to be textured with cool textures, there is like a texture thing here that like adds a bunch of different patterns and stuff. So essentially this is kind of like a revitalized version of Hero Machine. Hero Machine's the only one that works on iOS, but this works on Android and Windows, this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to head into a time lapse, I'm going to create my hero, and when it's done, I'm going to show you it all off. So as you can see, for my colours for this character, I chose orange and blue. So what is very important is that you choose good colours that work together, that pop, especially for like comic book inspired characters, because it's meant to be bright. But just choose what colour feels right to you, really. If you want your character to be green and pink, go for green and pink. You know, the fictional characters, they can be very wacky, especially some superhero costumes back in the day. Whatever you choose for your hero can be anything really. It doesn't really matter if it's just a generic word that already happens to be a hero, because there is multiple heroes across multiple franchises such as Marvel and DC that have very similar names or even have overlapping names. So, for example, for this hero, he is called Clef, after the musical symbol. So, if you choose a name that means something to you, even name it after yourself, you know? Don't be ashamed to name your hero after yourself. So that is the end of this tutorial here. Let me know if there is any other ideas you want me to see, such as making a villain OC maybe, or even making a Discord server to keep track of your heroes. Have a great day, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!